Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. And welcome to today's Telin Insights keynote and panel discussion powered by CC Webinar Live. And thank you for joining. We would also like to thank Telin for sponsoring today's CC Webinar Live session. Now, I would like to pass on the microphone to Eric to introduce our keynote speaker and later on to moderate the panel. For audience, if you have any questions to our keynote speaker or our panelists, please do use the chat box option throughout this session. That's all from my side. Eric, over to you.
Thank you very much, Laura, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you out there. I'm very pleased to host this the CC webinar. We're going to talk today about the wholesale industry in a data-hungry age and all the challenges and opportunities. So, something to listen to, please. For this, I cannot do it by myself, and I'm very happy to have Eddie with me here. I think we will do the keynote speak, and of course Rashid and Matthias. I'll give them a quick minute to introduce themselves. So Eddie, maybe over to you.
Thank you, Eric. I am Eddie Siswanto, SVP Network Performance. Actually, I in VP Network Performance is about 10 months. Normally, or mostly, I spend my time in network planning and development. So this is a new task for me. And focus on this. I'm from Telin. Telin is the subsidiary of Telekom Indonesia. Telekom Indonesia is the biggest company in Indonesia. As incumbent, we have about 170 million mobile subscriber and about 8 million FTTH IndiHome. We call it the product is IndiHome, 8 million FTTH subscriber. And for Telin as the arm of Telekom for the international expansion of Telekom. So we have cables, submarine cable to Europe, to US, or to other ASEAN country. So we have a data center in Asia, in Singapore, Hong Kong, also in Timor-Leste, and of course in domestic in Indonesia. And our product from IP transit, voice, and then I2P, and also security and new platform also, we already delivered the product also. Thank you, Eric. This is my introduction.
Thank you very much, Eddie. And let's go to Rashid. Rashid, welcome.
Very much welcome to you, Eric, and to your guests as well. Rashid Al-Ali, I'm the Vice President of the International Sales. I look after the data services for Etisalat UAE. I think most of you, they know Etisalat UAE is one of the leading company in the emerging market. We are very much into the wholesale, enterprise and consumer-based business. We are providing innovation type of service to almost 154 million subscribers as we talk now. It's over than 154 million, over 16 countries in East, Middle East, and West side of, North Africa and the West side of Africa. Etisalat holding a high credit rate financial, which allow us to extend our services and innovation and even ambition to keep leading our market with innovation services. And this can be reflected recently in our mission, where we are very much into the digital type of services to cope with the trend of the telecommunication and the industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rashid, and again, happy to have you on the on this panel session. So, last but not least, Matthias.
Yeah, hello everybody. Yeah, my name is Matthias Maurer. I'm working for Deutsche Telekom for more than 20 years in the wholesale arena, for 10 years in the national wholesale, for now since 2007 already in the international wholesale, so kind of a natural born wholesaler in our company. So currently I'm responsible for product management and sales support in the IP business of the international wholesale unit that's called Deutsche Telekom Global Carrier, and I'm based in Bonn in the headquarters of Deutsche Telekom in Germany.
Thank you very much, and welcome to you as well, Matthias. So, guys out there, it's a nice stack of people around the table, and but first, before we go into our interactive discussion, and talking about the topic. I would like to invite Eddie Siswanto from Telin to give us a Telin insight and on the business. And so Eddie, you're invited to share your presentation, and we're more than happy to listen to you what you have to share with us. So please, Eddie, take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric, and thank everyone join this session. Here is topic is wholesale industry and data hungry age, challenge and opportunity. As my introduction is, I am Eddie Siswanto, SVP Network Performance. First is introduction brief about Telin. Telin is the international of the Telekom with 11 subsidiary or global office, and we have 58 POP globally with 28 countries and 56 domestic POP, and we have 19 data center in four countries, 19 data center in 4 countries. So sorry, let me laser pointer better. And then our customer around 250 globally, including wholesale and enterprise. As I mentioned, we Telin is subsidiary of Telekom Indonesia. We have 173 million mobile and 8 million broadband subscriber or FTTH. And then our submarine cable is going to Europe, US, and Hong Kong, and Japan also. This is about 207,000 kilometers. And this our network is bringing traffic about 14.2 terabit per second. This is growing significant during COVID-19. And this wholesale and market share in Indonesia is about 74% for traffic, and for network is 60%. This is our awards in 2020 from Berlin Global Watch, Best Regional Data Center, Cable, and the Best Operator of the Year, and other awards before. Let's discuss our topic first about the traffic. The traffic is growing very fast from 2019 to 2020 is 57%. This driven by online and digitalization during COVID-19, and then still growing 50%, 51% to 2021. So our network bring about internet 14.2%. And if we see what is the content of traffic, because this is a very good topic to be discussed during panel discussion, I think. The traffic composition is, if we split to 10 top ASN, in this 98% traffic is from top 100 ASN, and top 100 ASN is consists of Google 33%, and Facebook also 33%, and other OTT 30%, sorry, Google 31%, Facebook 33%, and also other OTT 33%. From telco or other tier 1 is only 3%. So mostly traffic actually from OTT. This is we need to, I think, elaborate this challenge, yeah. Because if we see, I make this presentation actually as wholesaler. We are getting push from user to have good customer experience. On the other hand, we get pushed from OTT and our CDN player that they always injecting more popular content, more bandwidth, or require lower latency like gaming or like real-time communication. So we are as wholesaler, we need to accommodate to end user and to the content. This is our challenging. Can we make this as advantage for us, or actually we just receiving complaint? This is really, I think, very interesting to be discussed. And then we see the network. If in the network, now the content and is closer to end user. If maybe before 2015 or actually 2010, maybe like this connectivity hub or interconnection hub is only in major city in the world like Singapore and Singapore or Hong Kong, or in Europe maybe Frankfurt or Marseille. But no, it's they're moving to like Indonesia moving to Jakarta. There's many order of transmission, or even they build themselves the network, the cable to Jakarta. This is the trend currently. And then next is after 5G, I think they move again to closer to end user, maybe in the small city even. So this is also the trend that coming to today. Why they move to closer to user? Because they want to have, of course, performance, good performance. Because if closer to user means latency is better, latency is less, and then the capacity also they will save cost because they can provide capacity locally. Because like video or high definition video is need a high capacity, high bandwidth. So by moving to closer to user, they will get the benefit by cost efficiency. This is a very interesting also. But meanwhile, because they need the content closer to user, then OTT on cable, even on data center. They build themselves the data center and cable. And also the data center also my player they also thanks to build themselves the cable also. This is challenging for us. This as middleman, I see. This is our as wholesaler could be shrinking our role. This is challenging to us. Next, and this is this case, but this is any direct or indirect, but this is I just capture from the news that GTT is the tier 1 operator in the world with 700 global POP and then 100 GE core router, and also this 140 in the country. So they have big number. But what happened is this is a bankruptcy. Then this is bankruptcy. But this is the case that the challenge of wholesaler, or the challenge of telco as this is as tier 1. What about at tier 2 or tier 3? This is a challenge for us. How we can survive in the OTT world. Next. Move to opportunity. After I mention about challenge, then we talk about opportunities. As mentioned before, that the content is moved to the closer to the user. What mean actually this potentially will be new interconnection hub. This I take this actually this from the Global Peering Forum, just I think on April by Telegraphy. Sorry, I think I need to put the source here. But anyway, there will be new interconnection hub because the move of content closer to user. Like in I take a case in Jakarta, because this Jakarta is explosive growth, and Singapore, Hong Kong, this will be rapid and will be mature. So Singapore, Hong Kong will keep still interconnection hub, but will be new additional connection hub will be Jakarta is potential for interconnection hub. That's why, because the growth of capacity and there is the OTT is coming to Jakarta, like, and this is the cloud provider, Google Cloud or AWS or NTT already have a footprint in Jakarta, and this will be a challenge, but we need to take the opportunities. What the opportunities like cable, because some OTT still need a cable from other operator, not maybe just of Facebook or Google, then they will cable themselves, but some OTT still need capacity of cable. And then data center, we have potential also our data center to be occupied by OTT, and then also internet exchange, so cloud solution. This is the opportunity that we can grab in the or next future. Then this is actually the response of our response to the OTT, because currently the traffic is dominantly from the OTT. Previously, we just get the revenue from we call it southbound or users, from here, from the users. And we just deliver the content from the content provider to the user. We don't get any revenue from the content. But no, we know that OTT already consume huge bandwidth, and they also have profit from the advertising or from the like Netflix, from the membership. And so we need to work together to find the solution, how to get win-win solution for delivering the traffic from the content that very huge traffic to the user. So this is a opportunity actually to us to monetize how connection of the OTT. So I say in the slide a double side opportunity from this user and from the content. So this is not easy. I mean, not easy because this is sometimes difficult to negotiate, because we have experience difficult to negotiate with OTT. And if we do something that we call it reduce the capacity or manage the capacity, then customer experience here will be a complaint from user. So we need to keep balance between monetizing and customer experience. And this is the art of this double sides opportunity, I think. So I think everyone has approach for this one to how to get the better win-win solution to OTT and to us as wholesaler. Next, the transformation. This is my last slide. The transformation is this is I take from PricewaterhouseCoopers, that the telco has to be moved from network centric to service centric end-to-end proposition. I think everyone already understand what this transformation, and all telco I think move to this journey from the network centric to the central service centric, and this from only infrastructure to software to, and also from only physical, from middleware, from only service IPLC or connectivity to even to consulting. And this is how we transform our telco in the current situation, and in when the OTT already we can say occupy our traffic. Okay, that's all my presentation. Thanks for the attention, everyone. Back to Eric, please.
Thank you, Eddie, and thank you for sharing the Telin insight on the wholesale industry in this in this data hungry age. A question which popped up, and that's actually from your last slide, because you were mentioning that you know, PricewaterhouseCoopers tells us as a consultant and who oversees the telco industry that we're moving from a network centric to let's say a more service centric environment. So how did Telin and the whole group let's say move into this transformation? Can you give us an example?
Yeah, thank you, Eric, for the question. First, we move our connectivity to have more advanced, like auto or self service by customer, or fluid, we call it fluid bandwidth, so they can order by self, and then they can upgrade or downgrade the service. This one thing from our traditional connectivity. We add the feature of the connectivity. So we add the connectivity not just point to point. We add connectivity to the cloud. Maybe we already have connectivity to Google or to AWS, so customer can end-to-end order to Telin connectivity and cloud. And this is our basic service. And then for the new platform, we also try to adding the capacity or capability our platform security by invest by self for the basic, like for the layer 3 security, and also we can partnering with other for the layer 4, layer 7 security. And we try to to develop our security to more advanced to customer. And also for the traffic base, like A2P or voice, this is actually still our core business also. This is our legacy. So we need to improve also our legacy revenue, even not easy, but we try using like marketplace. We move to marketplace, and we call it neo traffic. This already live here, neo traffic, so people can join the neo traffic, and they can by prepaid they can send the traffic A2P to that already register in the traffic, or to Telin, and Telin to our Telekom cell, our partner in Indonesia. This is what Telin done for the moving from network centric to service centric.
Okay, thank you, Eddie. I see some questions coming in from in the chat box from you all out there. So thank you very much, and let those questions keep on coming, guys. And it's more about the stability of the user RPU and the wholesale customer RPU. So is it right to say, actually, and thank you, Ian, for your question, about the balance between the wholesale versus retail, and monetizing versus let's say the user experience. What would be your take on this one?
Yeah, we have so tough experience actually for balancing this between monetizing and user experience. If we difficult to negotiate with the OTT, then for easy we just cut the connection. But this user is complain, and so many user complain, so we cannot do like this. So this balance, so we do like, what is this, we patient, or maybe we reduce slowly the capacity and what the complaint from user, and then we negotiate again with OTT. So take really time and take our passion also, and to get this opportunity. So I think if in case telco can unify, so we can do together, but if not, because our competitor is they have good experience. If we disconnect to the OTT, then our competitor have good experience to the OTT, that content, so we lost competition in the user. So this is really challenging but not easy, but I think we must do it. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eddie. No, of course, it's always for finding the right balance between them, and it's not always easy, and yeah, you need to be on top of it. So thank you, Eddie, and thank you very much for sharing your presentations and those ad hoc questions and answers from you. So thank you very much. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Rashid from Etisalat and Matthias from Deutsche Telekom to the bridge as well. So gentlemen, welcome again.
Hello.
Hi, to.
Yeah, hello, Rashid.
And let me get right
Matthias.
into it. Let me get immediately get into it. Maybe Rashid, a question to you. What do you think do the current networks and new solution actually bring to the table to address the future internet demand? What do we see around us?
Well, Eric, first of all, I would like to thank Eddie for the nice presentation that I believe it reflects the same that most of us are facing. Going back to your question, I think the telecommunication was trying for long for a right venue and take off to the new solution, to the new era of the services and level kind of solutions. And it seems the pandemic was, I mean, although it was really bad pandemic to all of us, but one of the good things that happened during 2020 with the pandemic, it's taking off of all what was most of us waiting for it, not only as a provider, but even the customer or the users in all aspects. The pandemic, it seems it's escalated the matter to reach to a level where the cloud service solutions is the only thing that every single telecom or application providers or service providers is looking at. So I think with what is happening, there is a lot of changes happening in the market in terms of transformation. And the two main things that Eddie was mentioning, it's really a concern, is the ARPU kind of financial aspect and the balancing of monetizing the services compared to the customer, maintaining the balance between the monetizing the infrastructure with the customer experience. So I think there is a lot of changes happening, and the change is happening so fast. I mean, we were looking at a lot of aspects that it might take 3 to 5 years time to be reflected in the real life and the real networks. But what happens with the pandemic, we saw a lot of those 5 years aspects just reflected at the last quarter of 2020. And we are now in a stage where we are enhancing those things. So if I go back to your question, Eric, very much, there is a lot of changes happening. There is a lot of services that was in a slow motion mood of takeoff that we can see it is accelerating very well. And in the network side, as Eddie was mentioning, I mean, we've been very much focusing in layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. Now, all the discussion internally within the organization or with the customers, it's about layer 7 and above. It's about solution, turnkey solution, about the service, and we don't see kind of standardized. It is more about how we adapt to be able to cater those kind of requirements. It's no more about my services available on the shell and drive through kind of requirements coming to pick up one of those services. We are more in a deep kind of discussion about a very kind of particular requirement related to customers. And here I'm not only reflecting wholesale, as I'm very much close to the market. I see this in the enterprise, wholesale, SMBs becoming a big layer with a lot of requirements, and the quantity, the business scale, it's driving the market in a very new era as well. So I will cut it short here, Eric, but there is a lot of changes happening, a lot.
Okay, thank you very much, Rashid, and for explaining it to us. Now, Matthias, from your point of view, I mean, Deutsche Telekom, T-Mobile, big group as well. So, what is your take on that? What do we see around with it with regards to the future internet demand?
So yeah, thanks a lot for having the chance to present my insights here, and thanks a lot, Eddie. I found a lot of our findings in your presentation as well. So maybe looking back, before I get into that, looking back what happened to the pandemic, and just referring to one of the questions from Ian. Well, we saw quite an increase, but the increase was not as big as, for example, for Indonesia. So I do not know what the reason might be. So we saw a total increase of around 50% in traffic, and we're currently around 25 to 30 tera in our network in the AS3020 in the backbone we are having. So some of the services, and this refers back to what Rashid said. For example, the service we are currently communicating with, Zoom. These kind of services, they increased, I think, 300, 400, 500%. But in total, the increase was not as big as we thought. And when the whole pandemic started, and we heard from the first networks that had some problems, you can imagine that our top management was a bit panicking. But we found out very early there was no reason to panic. So it went, I wouldn't say 100% smooth, but I would say 99% smooth. So we had a lot of the big traffic sources we had very well connected. So, and looking forward, so one element I think especially for a wholesale unit is indeed find the right position in this market. As Eddie showed in his presentation, well, we came to this similar conclusion that it's getting hard for us more or less to concentrate on transit only. So I think these times are, I don't want to say over, so there might be specialists out there. DT, we found that we are definitely no specialists for it. So we really concentrate on our core markets, that is mainly here in Europe. This is where we focus on, and especially focus on more or less end user experience. That's definitely what we're doing. But of course, we want to get a bigger share of the cake. So we invested quite a lot into this internet security products, DDoS defense, and it's growing very well. We had a huge demand in DDoS defense, mainly coming from German enterprise, as you can imagine, but from some players and carriers as well. That was growing very well through the pandemic, and this is where we continue to invest and develop new products. CDN business, we are partnering here, is running pretty well. We saw a huge increase there as well through the pandemic, so that was the right decision more or less to get into that business a couple of years back. And what we now started to look at, and we saw that in Eddie's presentation as well, can we make use of, for example, this new edge trend? So Deutsche Telekom has built some edge data center in Germany. We are trying to resell that now. It's a bit difficult on a wholesale basis, to be very honest. But we serve internal groups as well. For example, our enterprise brand T-Systems, so they make use of it, we are pretty happy of. But there will, and this was one of the elements, and I think you would come to that when we talk about the future, is all about scale and flexibility. So we of course want that the traffic's getting in very efficiently. So ideally on many spots, so that we do not need to transport the traffic all over Germany and to our affiliates in Europe. That's definitely one thing. I think the 400G interface will come pretty soon, more or less, to connect the customers on IP. I think in WDM it's already there. And what we are currently investing quite some time in is kind of process automation. And another big thing we're working on is network functions exposure. But that's mainly on the 5G area, so that we give access via APIs to certain network functionality. And we think that's the wholesale model of the future, especially when we talk about low latency applications and these kind of things.
Okay, thank you. Eddie, new technologies pushes us and have a huge impact on our service portfolios. So can you run us through, so in how and in what way?
Yeah, thank you, Eric. Yes, correct. Remember during 4G, I think 4G, we don't imagine if 4G impact to our life during the 4G rollout. But now, as we have proven, as also Rashid saying, that now is really fast moving 4G technology of 4G already involved, already impact to all life. And then for 5G, everybody waiting 5G. If 5G will be like 4G, this maybe different country, different time, different year, they will implement the 5G. but certainly a technology driven still, in my opinion, technology driven still will come. So the aspect of life is driven by technology, and there is 5G, and maybe then there is IoT. So this is my opinion. Yeah. Then other things is as mentioned by Matthias, actually the technology currently already based on network virtualization function, or NFV. So this technology is based on the common hardware, this like the IT system, this just like server in the market, and then application will be installed in the market in the hardware, that common hardware, and then will be installed in any data center, and data center will move to the closer to the user. Matthias said this edge data center. So this technology really will impact to wholesale business, and we are as telco need to embrace this technology, need to consider and to what the appropriate in our area. And also, in my opinion, as telco currently, it's for the global telco or worldwide telco is I think it's difficult to be global telco because global traffic already occupied by OTT. So better as telco we focus on our area, and the focus we have advantage in technology, in service, in giving customer experience in our area with as a leading or preferred telco in our area, and then we really getting the service and the customer in our area. This is my opinion. Rather than we move to global, and then this is not time like this lah. So this is my opinion regarding the technology and how the telco react with technology. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Rashid, you want to complement this?
Yeah, I'm saying if we go through the time scale, we've been very much focused on the network side. And one of this, reason, justification that the telecom was very much focused into the infrastructure network, because we were trying to play the modulator between the user demand and the services or the content available at the somewhere, or even trying to connect between the two customers being at the A or B at different location. But with the nice investment that the telecom has put a lot of infrastructures on ground, a lot of kind of technologies that have been lifted up, we see this, as we mentioned, the transformation from being a network-based company to more into the service-based. Here we see that the intention of providing the services is the key, that put a lot of investment on how we provide those services to the user, more than being aware about how we can bring it. And now what we see, there is a lot of a shift kind of investment. We see the cloud providers, we see the content providers, we see the solution providers are becoming more closer geographically to their user than they used to be before. So, and why is that? Is to be more, let's say, cost-effective solution and the network utilization. Number two, customer experience. Number three, more closer to their users commercially, technically, and this put the telecom in a way of how can we take this matter in a way to elaborate with those kind of things. So now in Etisalat, we are in a very much nice position, collaborating with the CDNs, with the cloud providers, working together with the communities. Now, I think you all can see, because of this transformation, the whole world or your users becoming like more into cyber communities. We see gaming as very much into a scale of business that each one of us is paying attention to it. We see the cloud business is becoming extreme, not only with the SMBs. We see users now. We see users are very much into this business or into utilization of this business. We see the financial institutions. We see the education, the health. It's the whole world becoming into very much into cyber communities, which somehow it forces us to redefining our services in a community base to cater those kind of requirements. So I agree with Eddie's statement. There is a lot of balancing happening now, and in Etisalat we came with a couple of those initiatives. And the beauty in our region, by the way, folks, I mean, we are not working alone. Now there is a lot of collaboration happening, and those collaboration, it is not among the telecom providers only. We work with the government, we work with the regulator, because regulators with this kind of cyber kind of communities, you need a new definitions. You need a new era of kind of regulation to cope with this changes. So we are working with them very close, and we in our region we see a good number of deployment happened recently for our cloud providers, and those kind of shift it helps to make a lot of changes in our service type solutions, to work with them as well, to find the right way of catering those kind of demand. Is not only catering those kind of demand, no, it's also in the cost-effective solution. And I believe the moment that the 5G rollout will be at the big size of business scale, we will be going through another stage of acceleration. And this is, I see it will happen in no time. And the centric kind of service user base, it will be having some kind of a new look that we don't know how it will be look like. Maybe we have some kind of a view, but we don't know exactly where we will be there. There is a lot of changes happening in the network science, by the way. I mean, there is no doubt. I think Eddie is experiencing this. Matthias is experiencing this. Network, we spend a lot of network developing it to reach to that level with aspects. Now those aspects are not more there with the same way that it used to be. There is a new aspects came to our consideration. And the beauty of it, that we are all in belief that those aspects are real facts that we need to pay attention to it. Please, Eric, I will give it back to you.
Thank you, Rashid. So, Matthias, and Rashid was tipping on it already. So from your point of view, and let's say within your group, how can operators and other telcos prepare themselves? I mean, what are the key elements to watch out for? And I mean, can you lead the way? Do you have any use cases you can share with the audience?
So I guess you're rather looking at more or less how to develop new features or new businesses. Well, we believe we need to find a way to collaborate definitely with the hyperscalers. Currently, I think, you know, when we look at all the traffic, it's all video. Yeah, when I look at my top 10 traffic pushers, I guess that all stems from video in the end, right? So what's the new video and in the future? So will it come from cloud gaming, as Rashid already mentioned? I think there's quite some truth in it. Probably will be the new thing, but some other services might pop up. The only question what we are currently having is, you know, what will be then in the end the role of these big hyperscalers? And you know, you can call us a bit paranoid, but we don't like third-party caches or third-party engines in deep in our network, because we simply don't want to have these kind of black boxes where we do not know what's going to happen. So we want to have control on it. So we need, even for these kind of things, especially when we talk about these low latency applications that might come up, we just don't want to be the dumb pipe, you know, that we open our data centers, let the guys in, and you know, see what they're doing, and we only have more or less the last mile that we can monetize something like that. So of course we want to participate. We have a lot of partnerships with the hyperscalers, especially around the cloud services. So we are reselling clouds, we are reselling the services. So we bundle it together with our services, but this is more happening on the enterprise side, not on the wholesale side. On the wholesale side, we see us really as an enabler of these kind of businesses. So for example, when you look at the everything that's going on the SD-WAN, that's mainly enterprise. What we are doing, my job will be, and the job of the wholesale will be the underlay, building the underlay infrastructure, find the right partners in the different countries, connect them with a high quality network. A very important thing, and this is, we talked about localizing of the traffic. So, you know, this big international wholesalers, and Eddie gave the example, sad example of GTT. The traffic's getting more and more localized, you know, with this kind of low latency infrastructure, with the edge compute, it's getting even more localized. It's not only you build one hub, for example, in Germany, Frankfurt alone, and you can cover everything and everything is fine. You most probably do not need to have 2,000 locations. Germany is not that big, but you definitely need to get closer to the end user. And if you have different services from different players, you need to find kind of local interconnects. And so we will find this more, this peering and these interconnects on a more local level than today. And probably we need to even find differentiated models of interconnected. So to make sure that a video traffic is not pushing aside low latency critical traffic, for example, for an ambulance or something like that. So this is what we need to look at, and where we need to find ways so that we kind of separate more or less enterprise traffic or critical traffic from pure video. That's one thing, and then we only think it can go in a kind of a cooperation, competition, however you want to name it. And definitely not against. So I think the telcos are not in the role more or less to dictate more or less the service models.
No, absolutely. Eddie, you want to articulate on this one a little bit? Do you agree with Matthias, or do you see more? Eddie, you're...
Oh, sorry, still mute.
Perfect.
So we really agree with Matthias and Rashid opinion, because we are from incumbent operator. We have to we have a big, huge customer. We need to make this customers is useful for us, yeah. To negotiate with the OTT and content or CDN player. However, to negotiate with OTT or CDN, they ask about our data center. If you have data center, you have good data center like this. So our strategy now is to make the data center is with telco OTT standard, and to have the neutral data center. That's actually the sense of neutrality of telco is a question mark, but we try to make the neutral data center, so OTT and then CDN player can hosting in the data center, in our data center, and then this is improve our experience to customer, improve the what Matthias say, latency, and then also video efficient deliver video traffic. And other hand, we monetize to OTT and CDN by the hosting to our data center. This is one of our strategy. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you very much. So Rashid, talking about what we need to do, what we see, what we need to do, and then how can we prepare each other. What are your predictions for 2021 and maybe for 2022? What will we see? What can we expect? Even with, well, as you mentioned, the speed of light we're going today. But do you have, let's say, from a helicopter point of view, can you structure a little bit and maybe you can share it with us what you see coming from, let's say, the short-term future and maybe even next year?
See, Eric, this question is one of the very much difficult question among all the organization, I believe, because the speed that it takes is too fast to be captured. But one thing that I want to share it among all of you, that I'm optimistic, because I think we reached to a level where somehow it could be considered as a peak during our previous business cycle, compared with the technology that we used to do for the last 7 to 10 years. And we needed change. And this changes was trying for the right venue to take off. And this is exactly what happened last year. Now, what is my projection for 2021? As you can see that even the time scale ran so fast. We are in June of 2021. So how we can imagine that 6 months has passed such quick that it's like this for all of us. Now, my main driver behind the optimism is the as I mentioned, the hyperscaler. They just take off into a new era. And this new era, they will not be able to escalate it further without the coordination and cooperation with us. And even us as a telecom provider or incumbent even. If we will try to stay individual, trying to do everything by ourselves, I'm not saying that we will not be able to do it, but we will not be able to guarantee to reach to the same level they reached. So the right strategy here is to work together and to share. I don't call it the big pie. I call it as an opportunity to grow the whole community to a level where they can really enjoy the telecommunication services and the cyber kind of solutions. Now, there is a lot of demand in terms of how we can speed up the matter, how we can have a cloud kind based services and a new storage commercial aspect. We are in Etisalat. We noticed this very much a couple of years ago. And we developed a good number of partnership agreements. And those partnership agreements, I believe, it gives a great venue to collaborate all those segments. I mean, being a telecom, being a hyperscale in the CDN or a hyperscale in the cloud service or security or even solution-based, where we can work together without looking at the user kind of, financial aspect. No, we look how we can lift the service to a level that can secure a good solution, fast, with enough capacity, and with less kind of commercial commitment. And this is something which I believe it's happening now. So I believe being from a wholesale, I always feel happy when I see the utilization is high. So I think the utilization will keep going up. I always feel happy when I see the number of service order form is increasing regarding the value. The values, of course, among all of us is going down because the service is becoming more cheaper since it is more into a service solution wise rather than the network. But I think the number of requirements is coming more and more. The utilization is getting bigger. higher. Of course, the pressure on the international utilization is becoming slowly in a percentage-wise less, but we see somehow there is a kind of stability now. In our region, there is a lot of localization of traffic that is happening, driven by the huge demand. And we are trying to facilitate this by building data centers, helping others also to build their own data centers by enhancing the infrastructure and connectivity. As Eddie, he mentioned something which is very nice, is having a new interconnection hubs, which is happening a lot. The number of data centers that we build and we invested in for the last 2 years, it's almost equal for the number of data centers that we have done for almost 7 years. And so there is, I have to be optimistic, Eric. We are trying to lead this trend very much. Of course, not individual. We are very much in talk with our customers, with our partners, with the new driven-based technology, an aspect of all the communities. So I think things will be better. But again, if we will stay doing like what we used to do before, just looking at our infrastructure, just looking at our physical kind of components, I think we might be end with what has been end with other companies that bankrupt. And I really feel bad to say bankrupt, because the fast that is happening now, it forces us to go to this new digitalization, a new kind of a solution base, a new of collaboration with those hyperscaler kind of investment or service that they are doing it. So to be able to be part of this big game that is happening now. When I'm saying game, I'm not saying in a negative way. No, I'm saying in a positive way that there is a lot of changes taking us to a new era, and we need to be part of this.
Okay, thank you, Rashid. Matthias, what are your predictions for the near future?
Well, time is running. I might try to make it really short. I think wholesale will look completely different than it was 10 to 15 years ago. We see with this low latency critical applications, especially specifically coming around more or less 5G, that roaming needs to completely change. Home routing, from my point of view, will be dead very soon. I think we will rather need to get into kind of an enabler role, at least for IP. Might be completely different, for example, for voice or for the infrastructure business. But for IP will definitely be a lot of enabling. So enabling own units and getting into kind of new wholesale models that doesn't need to be carrier to carrier, but in a kind of a B2B to X model, where we will be more or less the enabler for completely new business model based on our network infrastructure. This is how I would see it.
Thank you, Matthias. Eddie, some famous last words on the predictions for the near future from Telin Insights.
Thank you, Eric. COVID-19 is maybe traffic still growing in this year or next year. Yeah. So we enjoy the traffic growth, but actually not enjoying the COVID-19, but enjoying the traffic growth. And so we have revenue, we have net income, like Telin in 2020 is the best performance in during Telin since Telin will. Yeah. So because we have a very good performance, revenue, net income, so we have opportunity to develop ourselves. We have opportunity to enhance our service, as Rashid said, not focus only on network, but also in the service, also in the solution. Also, we need to cooperate to partnership with other players. So this is I think we have the success gun this year. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, those are some very very nice words. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen out there, it has been a very inspireful round here with the esteemed gentlemen. It seems that we come to an end of this session, and especially I would like to thank Siswanto from Telin for having the keynote, being the keynote speaker here, and take us away and share with us the Telin Insights. I would like to thank, of course, Telin as a sponsor of the session, and my dear thanks go to Mr. Rashid and Mr. Matthias from Etisalat and from Deutsche Telekom. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for being on this panel. And I would like to give the word now to back to the studio in Berlin to Laura, and stay tuned with us, guys, because we have a lot to tell you and a lot to share with you. So, Laura, over to you, and gentlemen, thank you very much, and audience,
Thank
see
you.
you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. It's nice.
Thank you, Eric. Dear all, we're at the end of this webinar session, and I would like to thank our keynote speaker, Edith, for his interesting presentation, our panelists for joining and sharing their knowledge, and our audience for participating and listening. This panel will be soon available to watch on our CC Media portal. We are looking forward in welcoming you in both physical and virtual events this year. For more information, please visit our events portal. If you're interested in supporting and sponsoring one of our future branded webinars, contact CC team. For all updates and fresh content, follow us on our 4 social media channels. Also, subscribe to our Telegram news channel to receive exclusive invitations to our CC webinar live sessions. That's all for today. Goodbye and stay healthy and safe.